Good evening from the Channel's newsroom in London. Saudi Arabia's public prosecutor has announced that 5 people have been sentenced to death over the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. 3 others have received jail terms totalling 24 years. Khashoggi was a US resident and a critic of Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He was last seen at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul October last year. His body was reportedly dismembered and removed from the building. His remains have not been found. The killing caused a global uproar, tarnishing the Crown Prince's image. Bushfires in Australia are now burning in 5 different states, with emergency services warning that at least 60 fires are out of control. Over the weekend, the scorching heat destroyed over 180 homes and killed 1 person. Firefighters are preparing for worsening conditions post-Christmas.
Your house has to be prepared, but you have to be prepared, and you have to be prepared physically and mentally to be able to withstand the onslaught of a fire. So, and everybody in the household has to be prepared to do that, because the worst thing you can do is take a run for it at the last minute.
According to authorities, over 9 million acres of land has been destroyed, including 1/3 of South Australia's vineyards.
Well, what I know is that the need to take action on climate change hasn't changed, and you don't run government on sentiment. You run government on the facts, and you run government on what you need to do to protect our environment and its sustainability for the future, to protect our economy and the jobs and the livelihoods that Australians depend on. What you run government on and the decisions you take are based on those important facts, and the facts when it comes to addressing climate change, and the facts on when it comes to ensuring we have a strong economy which provides people with the livelihoods that they depend on, they remain the same.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has inaugurated a railway bridge linking Russia's 2 biggest cities to Crimea, which Moscow annexed from Ukraine in 2014. The 11.9-mile, $3.6 billion bridge is the longest in Europe, and by next year it's estimated that up to 14 million passengers and 13 million tonnes of cargo will move across it. The annexation of Crimea was met with widespread international outcry, including US and EU sanctions on Russia. At least 11 people have been killed and more than 300 treated in hospital after drinking coconut wine in the Philippines. The poisoning occurred in Laguna and Quezon, 2 provinces south of Manila. All of the victims had consumed lambanog, a drink popular in provinces and consumed widely during holidays and celebrations. Unregulated production and sales of the beverage are common in the Southeast Asian country, and it is often made illegally with dangerous additives. Britain's Prince Charles says his father is being looked after very well in hospital.
Sir, could we ask how your father is?
Well, he's being looked after very well in hospital. But at the moment, that's all we know. So, thank you very much.
The comments were made during a visit to flood-hit areas of England. Prince Philip, the 98-year-old husband of Queen Elizabeth, was taken to hospital last week as a precaution for treatment of an existing condition. The monarch hopes her husband will still be able to join the rest of the family for their festivities later in the week. Algeria's powerful military chief has died following a heart attack. Lieutenant General Ahmed Gayed Salah, who was instrumental in bringing down longtime President Abdelaziz Bouteflika, was 79 years old. His death comes at a time when the country is gripped by political uncertainty after 10 months of pro-democracy protests. Demonstrators are demanding that the ruling elite quits power and that the influential military steps back from politics. Ecuador's Reventado volcano erupted on the weekend. As the molten lava splashed and gushed down its slopes, it created a stunning scene in the darkness, as you can see here. Reventador is one of the country's most remote volcanoes, located in the Amazon region. The last major eruption took place in 2002, affecting some 2 million people. And finally, ahead of China's 2022 Winter Olympics hosting duties, residents from the country's Inner Mongolia region have been participating in their own seasonal fun and games. In Artson City, where the snowy weather lasts for about 7 months a year, a winter marathon drew about 1,000 participants from across the country. The sporting event consists of a full marathon, a half marathon and a mini one of 5 kilometres. Runners experienced a unique combination of steaming hot enthusiasm for sports and frosty hats and clothes in the freezing cold weather. And that's your international news around the world in 5.